Hello, good morning. If you can grab a seat, please. Make sure your masks are on properly. The reason for that is it's a big gathering, so we need to wear masks, except if you're speaking. Oh, thank you. There's more seats over here. There's some up in the front row. Nobody will bite. So we will call the meeting to order. Pastor Leslie, thank you.
Good morning. Our reading for today comes from Song of Songs, chapter 2, verse 12. Flowers appear on the earth. The season of singing has come. The cooing of doves is heard in our land. This is spring, and we are rejoicing. We're rejoicing that the trees and flowers are beginning to bloom. We have just celebrated Easter, and our hearts are full of the goodness of God's love for us and our love for God. We too, like the women who were just Jesus' disciples who went to the tomb and found it empty, may wonder what this event means. What does it mean that Jesus is risen? It means that the love of God is stronger than evil and death itself. It means that the love of God can transform our lives and let these desert places in our hearts bloom. The love of God can do this. These words are from Pope Francis in a sermon he preached back in 2013. The renewal of promises of life-giving peace that only God can give to us is with a breath of fresh air that we receive our spirits from the drab days of winter. Today we have a moment of sunshine, and this promise of what it is keeps us hopeful. With each day that passes, we are assured of a warmer weather and bluer skies, of more walks outdoors and more quiet times on the benches around Green Lake. And with this sense of renewal comes an awakening. We are not meant to be alone or secluded. We are meant to live in community with one another in a sense of peace and fellowship. And that is what we have here at the Hearthstone. We have come to a place where society and fellowship, care and kindness, thoughtfulness and grace have been experienced and are at the core of our souls. As this season changes from the darkness of winter into the more lovely days of spring, let us be reminded of our promises to live with compassion, to lead with integrity, and to believe that we are better together than we are apart. This Easter season, we have been given the gift of life. May we face each day with the realization that we have so much to give and so much to gain. As we notice the earth warming and growing, blossoming and coming to life, may we too rejoice in the life-giving joy of the gospel of Christ made new to us each day in Jesus' life and resurrection. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Leslie. Next item on the agenda is approval of the March minutes. Does anybody make a motion to approve the minutes? Second? The March minutes are approved. Treasurer's report. Jim Killingsworth is still luxuriating in Hawaii, so Frank is going to give his report.
This is a very brief report. Last year there was $2,294 in the account. This morning it's the same amount. Thank you.
So the next item on the agenda, happily, is to introduce Pedro Sanchez, the new Resident Engagement Director. And he will tell a little bit about himself and what grand plans he has.
Good morning, everyone. Excited to be here. Actually, I want to share a little story with you guys, a short story. So I've been involved in the behavioral world. I've been working in psychiatric hospitals for years and working with people with mental health problems, behavioral issues, drug addictions, all that stuff. And in the past, back in college, back when I was younger, my mom and dad, they used to work in a place like this one, in a retirement community. And they got me a job there, and I worked there for a few years. And so a part of me always wanted to go back to this type of facility. When I was working there, I got to meet a lot of great residents. They were amazing. They had great ideas. It was really, really fulfilling to me to work along with them. So all this time that I've been working in hospitals and helping people out and things of that nature, it has been great. I really loved it. But a part of me really wanted to go back to a setting like this one, a retirement community where I could really, really explore all the ideas that I have and work along with everyone, really. So that's really what I'm looking forward to do here. I want to expand the program that we already have in place, make it better for everyone. And if you guys have any ideas that will help to make what we have in place better, please let me know. All ideas are welcome. I want to hear everyone's ideas at some point. And really excited to be here. Looking forward to work with all of you guys, really. Any questions, concerns?
I think they're going to go easy on you today, Pedro. Anyway, we very much appreciate you being here. Rosie, do you have anything to add?
Just briefly. Hi, everyone. So just to add a little more information to what Pedro just shared about himself, he does come with years of experience. We're excited. Thank you. We're excited to have him here. But we are moving forward with the implementation of a resident engagement advocacy committee. So I'm going to be sending an email out to our new and continuing floor chairs once we have new emails and information, once everyone's installed. Inviting our floor chairs to nominate a advocacy representative from each of your floors. That will comprise the committee. And it'll operate similar to the dining committee meeting. That's been a very successful group in helping us move forward in our dining services and department and enhancing the service there. So I'm looking forward to that. That's something that I've been looking forward to and was hopeful that we could roll out a committee like that for 2023. And now with Pedro here, that would be a great opportunity for everyone to bring their feedback in regards to what we used to do at the Hearthstone, what you've seen in other communities. Maybe you have friends or, other, individuals that you know in other communities. Bring all of those ideas and expectations here to the committee, and we'll work through them and see what we can do to incorporate them into our programming here at the Hearthstone. That includes, outings, groups, speakers, events, just absolutely everything that you are really looking forward to, that you've missed. That would be the forum to bring those kinds of ideas to. That's really it. Anyone? You're pointing. Therese, was there someone who had a?
To put his mask on.
Thank you. So that's it. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you both.
Thanks, everyone.
Pedro and Rosie, thank you.
If you don't have any other questions, we're gonna head out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, but we are required to have masks on in full force because of the number of people. That's the reason for it today. So we will continue with the floor reports. So if you have already elected a floor person, please introduce them. If not, I know some of you meet next week. So we will start with floor 10. And Frank and Don will have a microphone, and please wait for a microphone before you speak. There's one coming behind you, Sheila.
Actually, May has the other one.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Don. So for 10, excuse me, a little hoarse this morning. For floor 10, we have a couple moving out, so we'll have one unit coming up. They'll be leaving the 21st to go be closer to family. But we also have now an open, what do they call that? A guest suite. We thought it was a unit that was being offered for sale, but it's now a guest suite. And so we've had a number of people there. And other than that,
It's a suite that can be rented from the Hearthstone?
right, it's been rented a number of times already, yeah. So, and the only other thing is that we don't exactly have elections. We just sort of do things by consensus. And we talked about who wanted to be floor chairs. Georgia and I are going to continue to share that, although she have additional responsibilities. We have people that just step up and do things, and they're willing to continue to do that. It works very smoothly.
Thank you, Sheila. 9th floor? No report for the 9th floor. 8th floor? Hold on.
We don't have anything special to report other than at our last meeting, we had a very informative talk from Harriet Hartquist about hospice, and it was extremely useful for us, and I thought others might be interested.
Thank you. 7th floor?
On the 7th floor, we have been very ably served for several years by Pat Sobek as our chair. She's here today, and she's just recovering from a surgical procedure, so I said I would speak for her. So we are very thankful for her presence and her service. Our new chair will be Jim Killingsworth, who is still having fun in Hawaii, but he will be back very soon. We have several vacancies on our floor.
Thank you, Carolyn. Sixth floor?
We still have 2 open apartments on our floor, and our new chair will be Meg Ludlam, and our co-chair will be Jackie Backus.
5th floor?
No election yet, but as far as apartments go, we still have a 1-bedroom open, and the former guest room has been purchased by someone moving in the end of the month, I believe. So end of the month. So it's a studio and no longer a guest room. That's all.
Thank you. 4th floor, is there anyone here from 4th floor? There we are.
Yes, we'll be having our meeting next week, but things continue apace, and we're getting more active and involved in things, hoping that to continue.
Thank you, Eileen. Cove West? Judy?
We will be having our official election next Thursday for officers for next year, but I would like to introduce our nominee, Elaine Pflugstra, who will be the chair. And then Karen Erlander will be the vice chair. So that will officially take place next Thursday. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Judy. Cove East. Oh, right behind you, May.
Right there. Okay. Denise Lentini, I'm now the building chair, I guess, is for Cove
Right.
East, following Laura Sanders. It's going to be a tough act to follow for sure. At this point, we have a couple moving in the end of the month to our ADA apartment, and we still have one vacant apartment. And we have book club this afternoon, if you'd like to join us, reading Cast.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I think that takes care of all the floors. Yes?
Just saying, since other people announced who's been nominated, on the 5th floor, it's myself and Shirley Perringer.
Great.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, Sylvia, want to give an update on the gift shop?
It's short and sweet. Last month we did a little over $1,200, which is a little increase over the month before. And so that seems to be good. And we're still looking for some of you who would be willing to help us so that when we are able to have credit cards, we'd like to be open for a little bit on Saturday and a little bit on Sunday. And as far as credit cards go, I'm sorry to say that we thought we'd have them available to use, but it's going to be a little longer. We're having some problems with, which I don't understand. Steve understands it, but I don't. We hope to have it set up by the end of next week, but then we have to train the people to work on them. So it'll probably be, rather than this month, it's probably going to be close to May before we have them. But we would like to have them so that people can, from outside, can buy stuff for Mother's Day and Father's Day and things like that. Any questions, of course, ask me, but, or is there any questions now? Okay, thanks.
Thank you, thank you, Sylvia. And now, election of resident assembly officers for 2023/24. Are you ready? Mr. Greif? So, as you, those of you who have been here for some time know how, or probably remember how this process goes. So the person who was vice president for last year goes into the role of president. I have been lucky enough, as far as I'm concerned at least, to be on the board for 2.5 years because I was living in this building and Pam Hazelton was on the board and she had a heart attack. So they invited me to join that and then I followed Sylvia and now me and now Frank. So you have all received, I think, a flyer with pictures and a little bio of all the, no, they have not received it. Okay. Well, Frank, where are the bios? Do you have them? You have one. I don't have it up here. Thank you. You may as well stay up here.
What we're going to do is distribute these on Friday.
Okay. So Frank said, here is the, I think they're going to be, these are the bios on the leadership roles, the people, and they're going to be distributed, excuse me. They're going to be distributed on Friday, but I will tell you who they are. Frank Greif as president, Georgia Oisted as vice president, Meg Ludlam as secretary. I know. Allison Batello as treasurer, and Carolyn Leone as at-large. Again, thank you, Carolyn. So that is the slate of officers. And I think somebody needs to make a motion to accept these folks as the incoming officers. Great. Voted and accepted. Thank you all. Thank you all for serving. It's fun. It can be wild. It can be depressing. It can be, oh yeah, vote. All in favor. Yay, all opposed. Great, passed, thank you. Okay, and that looks like the meeting in record time. Oh, no. Oh.
I'm now the president.
Yay.
You stay right there.
Oh, yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Don't leave.
Okay.
Okay. So the idea was that not everybody can attend this. So rather than handing these out now, what we're going to do is put them in everybody's mailboxes tomorrow. That way everybody will get that. But it would be nice for you to see who these different people are. So obviously you see me. Georgia, would you stand so people see who and know who you are? Those who don't yet. All right? A round of applause is appropriate. So Georgia is the vice president. The secretary, this is the hallelujah moment, is Meg Ludlam. Meg called me day before yesterday and said, I understand there's still a search on for a secretary. I said, yes. She said, well, I've talked to a few people, and I've had a lot of experience doing that. Could I help? To which I immediately said, hallelujah, and sent a case of champagne. Unfortunately, Meg is out of town this morning. She had to leave on a flight early this morning, but it's just wonderful that she will be here to do that. Allison Batuello, oh, I hope I said it right. My name is Greif, not Grief. Allison. So Allison is our new treasurer from Cove West. So you can see how difficult the report is. As long as we don't spend any money, we just say every time, just same.
Don't forget Carolyn.
No, I'm not. And then, returning, you all know her, and Carolyn has done a magnificent job managing that employee appreciation fund and other things. Carolyn's back here. Thank you, Carolyn. So a quick little business thing. There's been some confusion over the dates of when we're doing this. So remember, we're coming out of COVID, where we had to make all kinds of shifts and whatnot. So sitting down and looking at the bylaws, it clearly states that this assembly needs to take place at 10 o'clock on the morning of the second Thursday of every month. So you can put that in your calendar. That's what we're going to be doing going forward. It also stipulates that the resident council, the board, will meet prior to this meeting, which we will do. And it further stipulates that the floors have their floor meetings or building meetings the week after this, so next week. So we're going to kind of develop that rhythm, right? That's what we'd really like to be able to do. And as I said, the flyers will be distributed tomorrow with the wonderful little color pictures, so you see who everybody is. Except there's a picture that's not on there, and a name that's not on there. It's Teresa. after 2.5 years. 2.5 years. So she's worked tirelessly on your behalf. And Therese and I have met regularly with Reggie on various things. And when it was determined that there would be an election and a change in leadership, Reggie said, maybe I'd like to say a few things. So would you welcome Reggie?
Hey, good morning, everybody. So great to see all of you in one place. I was not a part of last month's meeting when you were in here, but I did watch the recording, and it just warms my heart for us to be able to get together and do things like this. So, Therese has no idea what we're doing. I just want to talk for a second about the past year. I started in November of 21, and so 2022 was a very important year for me as the CEO of your organization. I worked very closely with the board. I've also worked very closely with resident council. And as Frank has said, we meet regularly every week. That's how I find out what's important to all of you. And so I want to emphasize the fact, Frank may have already said this, but when you have issues that are beyond just you, so if it's your issue, you have a concern, your sink is backed up, your heat is not working, those kinds of things, absolutely you should go directly to the department head that you believe oversees that. Maintenance, housekeeping, activities, transportation, whatever the case may be. If, though, you have an issue that is more global in nature, it affects everybody on your floor, everybody in your building, whatever the case may be, those need to come through resident council. And it's taken us a while to get to this point, but because we meet weekly, it's a pretty easy process. So if you're serving an office, you can always reach out to the leadership of your council. If not, your floor meetings are the place to do those kinds of things. And the floor chairs are responsible for bringing issues up to the resident council leadership, your executive officers. I meet with those officers, at least the president, soon to be president, and then vice president. That's what Frank and I and Therese have done for the last year. Those are important meetings to me, and it's allowed me to really more consistently be aware of the major things that are going on. A lot of what I learned from discussions in the dining room or in activities that Frank and Therese had picked up on and that they share with me. So I just want to emphasize again, you have a great resident council. You have strong leadership of that council. We have a good structure. We just want to use it this year to the extent possible. You can always call me. You can always email me. You can always go straight to any department head. And if you don't know which department head, you can call Ariana, who is really responsible for the satisfaction of all of you and other residents that are not represented here today. And Ariana reports directly to me, and so she makes me aware if there are challenges. You can also call the front desk and say, can you connect me to whoever is responsible for getting my heat back on, those kind of things. And that's funny to some people and not funny to other people. Regardless, my role here this morning and the reason that Frank asked me to come in is because of how strongly I feel about the contribution that Teresa Atkinson has made over the course of the last year. I looked forward to the meetings every week to find out what was going on, for me to express any issues that I needed the resident council to be aware of. So we built a really strong, I believe, positive working relationship. And I'm going to miss that. I'm going to miss working with Therese. It's been an honor. It has made my job easier as we've worked through some difficult situations. And it's just nice to know that I can work with people that listen, that are respectful, and I try to do exactly the same, and that can then go and make a difference for all of you. So it's my pleasure to thank you for a year of service. We couldn't have done it without you. I appreciate you so much.
What he didn't say is how I badgered him.
Well, yeah, he's a polite guy. But badgering from Therese is not brutal, it's just insistent. So you may not know this, some of you are new here, that Therese is the Hearthstone's vagabond. She originally moved in up on the 9th floor, then she moved down to Cove East, and now she's moved back here to the 10th floor. What's really kind of weird for me is that the apartment that she lived in here was 914. The apartment I live in now is 914. So the vibe's still there. But as a vagabond and no longer president, she doesn't have a lot of baggage to carry around. So she doesn't need a really big suitcase. What she needs is something simple and comfortable that allows her to just kind of move through the future. So come on up here and look at your new luggage, would you? Go ahead. You can open it. It doesn't bite. Oh, yeah, it's heavy.
Oh, Gene.
Gene, it's Frank.
Oh, sorry.
Gene, help.
Gene, help. Oh, I love this. Jean Greif has one of these. I've always admired it. Hint, hint.
She's always admired it, hint, hint. But there's also something in it. It's a residue of other fundraising efforts. She's telling me all the time, do you have any more chocolate suckers? Do you have any more?" So there are 3 of them in there for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You've been great. Yep. So what? Did you want to say anything more?
No, thank you.
Two key words, right, today that we heard today. Renewal, and then what Rosie said about advocacy. Though, renewal, we are coming back out of COVID and all of that sort of thing. As I said, we're going to try and renew where we were before. And then the other word is advocacy. And what Reggie said, what Rosie said, the committees going forward, advocate. What makes this place home for you? That's what this is all about, and that's what this resident council, the members of us on the board, are all about. We are here to serve you in making this a better community. All right? So remember just not too long ago, daylight savings time changed. So the thing was spring forward. Well, that's kind of our theme going on. We're going to spring forward. And with that, do I hear a motion for adjournment? I didn't hear one. Do I hear a second? Any energy in saying aye? Aye. Thank you. We're dismissed. Wonderful.
You can get to your...
I know. I could go finish cleaning up the apartment.
Thank you.
Nice job. Nice job. Okay. Yeah. Can I have that bag back?
Sure.
No, you can keep it.
No, you can have.
No, jeans. I took it back to you and say, what? Yeah. No, keep it. Oh, this is the important one.